Biden's influencer army is his digital marketing plan. Axios has uncovered that President Biden's unofficial re-election campaign will rely on hundreds of social media influencers who will promote Biden's record and may soon have their own briefing room at the White House. Why it matters: if former President Trump becomes the GOP nominee in 2024, the move might help counter his enormous social media following. It also hopes to improve Biden's popularity among young voters, who are essential to Democrats' electoral success. To reach those who might not follow the White House or the Democratic Party on social media or who have completely stopped paying attention to mainstream media, Biden's digital strategy team will network with influencers around the country. Focusing on influencers and independent content producers are 4 Biden digital staff members. The White House, not Biden's campaign, is the official employer of the staff members, but it is obvious that winning over young and suburban voters is a top priority. In the 2020 midterm elections, young voters, aged 18 to 29, favored Biden over Trump by a 26-point margin, and Democrats over Republicans by a 28-point margin. An indication of how much emphasis Team Biden is giving to its internet strategy, the initiative's leader, Rob Flaherty, has been given the title of Assistant to the President, the same position as the Press Secretary and Director of Communications for the White House. What they're saying, according to Jen O'Malley-Dillon, Deputy Chief of Staff for the White House: "We're trying to reach young people, but also moms who use different platforms to get information, and climate activists, and people whose main way of getting information is digital." The specifics: the White House of Vice President Biden collaborates with hundreds of unpaid and like-minded content producers. They consist of Harry Sisson, a 20-year-old NYU student who analyzes the day's news on TikTok; Heather Cox Richardson, a professor at Boston College with a massive Twitter following and a widely read blog; and Vivian Tu, a former trader who talks about money in brief videos on TikTok and Instagram. Close up, unprecedented, and an indication that the traditional press briefing room would no longer be the main communication hub for the administration, a dedicated White House briefing room for influencers to gather in person or virtually. Additionally, some influential people would have more regular access to the president. Sisson, who has 660,000 followers on TikTok, said, "We actually asked the White House, when are we going to get press briefing passes?" Some of the 24 influencers who attended a State of the Union watch party at the White House made the notion, and he claimed that administration officials responded to it by saying they actually were very responsive to it. The administration is heading in the direction of providing influencers with their own briefing space at the White House as a result. Zooming out, in addition to White House invitations, the administration has provided influencers with chances to meet Biden while he is out and about. Officials requested Daniel Mack, whose 13.8 million followers watch him ask drivers of great vehicles what they do for a living, to ask Biden same question at the Detroit Auto Show in September 2022. Biden replied while driving a Cadillac Lyriq and sporting aviator sunglasses, "Well, I'm married to Jill Biden and I make sure we're creating a lot more electric vehicles in America." There have been 38 million views of the video. Influencers in the LGBTQ community were invited to the White House celebration of the same-sex marriage bill signing in December of last year. What's next? Just as its regional team has cultivated ties with local media outlets, the White House wants to collaborate with influencers who have audiences in the states where Biden will be visiting. Reality check: Biden's social media followings pale in comparison to Trump's, particularly on YouTube and Facebook. The sites favored by younger people, like Instagram and TikTok, are where Biden's strategy is concentrated. The intrigue: despite calling for the platform to be sold or risk being banned in the United States due to its owner's connections to the Chinese government, the administration is seeking support on TikTok.